My name is Alan Zimkus. My rank was ETN2. Combat was totally different. We worked port and starboard, 12 on, 12 off, and we were over in Nam. We're basically in Vietnam, a gun show. We would stay offshore, and we would, based on the needs of the Marines, the Army, whoever needed us, they needed close fire support. We would then give them close fire support. And when you're working 12 on and 12 off, my shift usually on, because by that time I was an E5 going to Nam. And so I was more of a senior. So my daytime was basically the time that I worked. But at nighttime, our crew quarters, were next to the aft twin 5-inch gun mounts. And sometimes they would fire all night long. And you're only maybe here to 15 feet away from the hatch where the men went in, the fire control people went in to fire the guns. But we got to be so tired that you would sleep through it. You were just exhausted. Working 12 hours, 12 on, 12 off, every single day, 7 days a week, sometimes for 3 weeks, 4 weeks before you went on liberty again. So that experience was totally different than just being under a routine cruise. Routine cruise, you get up, reveille. You maybe didn't want to, but you did. You get up, take a shower, go to the mess hall, have something to eat. They would usually have quarters where, they did an inspection. And then we'd go back to our ET shack, electronics technician shack, and see what might have to be done that day, if anything. Of course, there's always a fresh pot of coffee boiling in there, which was better than the coffee that they had on the mess decks. Reason being, because of the mess decks, we had those 5-gallon cans of coffee, and if they weren't drained to the bottom, they wouldn't do a new pot. And sometimes that coffee would be there for days. Not days, but it seemed like days. And it got to be very strong. And the funny thing is, after I got out of the Navy, I never drank coffee again. I'm a tea drinker. So and then and so underway or you're in port and Newport, it is totally different. It's more like a job. You work from 8 to 5 and had liberty or went home, depending on some people if they lived nearby. Some were married. I wasn't. I was single at that time. So it was more routine, almost like a job. And then every once in a while, we went on training cruises, during that period of time out of Newport. But it became, challenging, but also in some cases, it was probably a little boring sometimes because it was so routine until something broke that it was not routine.